What is going on? I'm so excited to be back this week. I was minding my business and I ain't have nothing to do this weekend as I was bed rotting. And I'm like, HBO got a new series out and they calling it the Tiger King of HBO. And so I was so excited. I texted my good friends. I've always talked about her on the podcast. Now I have her on the podcast. Welcome my good friend, Sarah, to the podcast. Hey, Sarah.
Hey. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's your podcast voice for me. Because I just was out with Sarah this weekend, and that definitely was not the voice she was giving me when I was parking the car, trying to confirm the location, and Sarah was cussing me out. But anyway, that's not what we're here about. We're here
Right.
about okay, we got a glimpse. The real voice is coming out. It's like no, we are here to talk about Chimp Crazy on HBO Max. Now they're saying it's the new Tiger King. All they had to say was Tiger K, and I was there. They had 2 episodes available. The last episode just came out last Sunday, and I don't know. What were your first thoughts when you watched the first 2 episodes? Let's not even talk about the third episode yet.
It definitely gave Tiger King Monkey Queen 2.0 for
Okay.
certain.
See, for me, the first 2 episodes, now I watched the first 2 episodes before my friend Sarah watched them, and I'm like, girl, they don't do anything for me, but the last 30 seconds of the second episode pulled me in. And so let's introduce the characters. So we have who we would say Joe Exotic is Tonia, is it Hendrix?
Haddix.
Haddix. Okay. She is a former nurse and she is an exotic animal enthusiast. How would you describe Tanya? How do we meet Tanya?
Well, Tanya describes herself as the Dolly Parton of chimps.
Okay, because Miss Tanya, baby, she has the looks on the looks on the look. She is tan. She loves a Party City blonde wig. And she has nails. Now, listen, this is what I would say about Tanya. Now, I don't love her synthetic wigs, but what I will say about Tanya in her synthetic wigs is I like the options that she gives us. Okay, she
It's
gives us
not
a little.
giving $150,000 of selling exotic animals a year.
I mean, listen, you like what you like and you don't what you don't. But what I can tell you is that I can tell you some of those wigs are more than like $200, especially the one that she has in her main one.
I know you
But
lying.
some synthetic wigs cost a lot of money. Listen, I can tell Tanya put some money into it. But anyway, so the the documentary does a really good job of like, of course, we're in the exotic animal realm, and exotic animals should be in the wild. They shouldn't be pets, right? And so they start us off, or they do a good job throughout these 3 episodes that we've seen this far, of giving us examples of people that have had chimps as pets that have gone wrong. We start off with this lady in the circus who essentially she had a baby. She got a baby monkey. The baby monkey wasn't eating. And so while she was breastfeeding this other monkey and essentially raised this monkey with her daughter. Anything to add to that?
No. Pam, no. And she
Pam,
worked in the
okay?
circus, yes.
And so we're like, is Pam who we're going to be following? And then Pam's story leads us to, they're like, where did you get
Connie.
your chip? To Connie. Now,
Mhm.
Connie is
The
in my
gatekeeper.
the gatekeeper, right? Like if this is like the Sopranos, if this is the mafia, Connie is the godmother
She
of
is.
selling chimps. And Tammy, who is married, has kids, she used to be a nurse. She loved raising, or she took a chimpanzee like class. Cost $300. You could spend a day with the chimpanzee.
Wait, well, you
Tanya
gotta
took it.
back up, right? She was a
Okay, well, back
foster
me up.
mother of 75 foster children.
Now, Sarah and I both are social workers. Now, I don't mean this by any malice, but I've seen foster parents like Tammy before. I'm like Tanya. Have you?
I have.
Now, and I'm not saying like there is something, there's a foster parent that I'm thinking of, like right, like Tanya, although they are making her the villain of the show, right? Do I feel like she would harm the animal? I do feel like Tanya has a good heart, and I do believe that Tanya believes that she is doing what's best for these animals. So Tanya was a well-kept woman. She was married. Her first husband, he didn't want her to work.
Mhm.
He said, "Listen, babe, you don't got to work. I make the money. You can buy all the Party City wigs you want." But Tanya said, "I'm an independent woman." And Tanya was like, "I needed to do something to fulfill me." And so Tanya had a whole bunch of foster kids, which, like, bless her heart. And she took on the medically complicated children. And Sarah and I both know, as social workers, sometimes those are the hardest children's to place, right? So bless Tanya's heart for that. I've also heard of this story, which I'm sure you've heard as well. I've always like, sometimes people are foster parents because they can't have children. And I've heard this story in real life multiple times where parents can't have children, they have foster children, and then them fostering children, they get pregnant, like they have their own child. Like, it's the weirdest thing ever. Not the weirdest thing ever. I think it's like a blessing. But so Tanya has her own son,
She does.
stops her from having stops her from fostering, and then she kind of focuses on her own son. Her son kind of grows up, and Tanya is like, I feel like I am a natural born caretaker. Like, I love to take care of children. My child doesn't need me anymore. My husband's working. So she
Well,
takes
the
this
son
time.
did say he still needed her. So he
Well,
says the story about the little diapers in the back of the car.
right. But the son needs Tanya in a way. Of course, everyone always will need their parents or something, but like, he
Right.
doesn't
He don't
need
need bottles and
Tanya.
diapers anymore.
Right. He doesn't Tanya don't need to day him. So Tanya's over him, and we'll get to that. And so she takes this $300 class by Connie. And she loves it so much that she starts volunteering for Connie. So much so that she volunteered for Connie 1 day a week, 2 day a week, 3 day a week, 4 day a week. Then all of a sudden she's living on Connie's property,
Compound. Mhm.
compound. Now, Connie used to own this business called Party for Chimp.
Yeah,
Something
something of
like
that
that.
nature. Yeah, it's a
Something of
party.
like Chimp Party,
Chimp
where
party is what it was. Yeah.
where they would bring the little chimpanzees to the birthday parties, surprise the kids, and people love it. Now, mind you, some of these cost $30,000.
It was the husband that was streamlining the party business.
And so the husband was like, making they was making money. There were some incidences where I don't know if, yeah, you'll have to help correct me. There might have been some incidences where there was some animals, chimps, kind of being a little aggressive towards the kids,
Yes.
and they started getting flack for their parties. So Connie
Correct.
said, "No more chimp party. Now it's a chimp sanctuary." And
Yes.
if we know anything Tiger King has taught us, when they got the word sanctuary in it for these private individuals, it's not a sanctuary. So Connie had this she built this big enclosure on her acres. She has, like, at one point, I think they said maybe over 47 chimps. And she also was a breeder. So a lot of the animals or the chimpanzees that we see in movies, they came from Connie.
Yes.
Connie had a very famous chimp. Well, mind you, most of, like, I think 60% or 70% or 80% of all
She had
American greeting
75
cards
of the chimps. 75% of the chimps in the United States she had.
she had. You got an American greeting card with a chimp that said happy birthday. Look on the back of that, because if it said like chimp party or something, that was
Mhm.
Tanya's chimp. Then also we had a very famous chimp, Tonka, who was in a lot of these movies. You remember any of the names of the movies that the chimp was in?
Yes, he was in Babe, and then he was in George of the Jungle.
Okay. So
Mhm.
Tonka is a whole movie star at this point. And so now she has this sanctuary. The issue that Connie is
But can we
running
get back
into.
to the Connie Joe Exotic thing?
Okay, well,
because
let's get back to
let's just
it.
back up a little bit.
Okay.
Because while we were doing Chimp Party, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
chimps are grabbing on the baby's legs,
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Joe
Who is
also
Joe?
had Joe is Connie's husband.
Okay. Was he her first husband?
Was he? I don't know, first or second
Because
husband?
okay, continue with the Joe story.
We're going with Connie. I'm not talking about the Dolly Parton.
Okay,
But
okay,
I'm talking
continue.
about, yes, Joe and the chimp Bo that bit off his nose. And
Yes. So
clearly
this
we
what
see him with a disheveled nose,
yeah, so this was
damaged
Connie's first
nose.
husband. Yeah,
Yeah,
because Bo, an older chimp, not so cute anymore, attacked her husband, bit his nose off to the point that Connie had to go back into the cage to get the nose. And then all of a sudden, a couple
2
months
years
later,
later.
2 years later, he just dies. And they gonna say natural causes. The man was 38, 39 years old. What
Right.
natural causes after you done got your whole nose bit off?
Mm.
Whew. Okay, so there's this huge thing in the chimpanzee world where, especially with women, that they want to like there's this specific culture that kind of look like Connie. They kind of look like not Connie, Tanya, where they
Tanya.
want to raise these chimps. They want to like treat them like babies. They're like forever babies. The issue that happens is after the first of all, the chimps live a lifespan of humans. Like they live to be 50, 60 years
Mhm.
old. After they about 7,
5 to
8,
6.
9, 6, they're adults. They have
Mhm.
adult strength and they're not meant to be kept in captivity. And so there are a lot of instances of these chimpanzees attacking humans, killing humans.
Mm. That was the hard part for me.
Yes. Now let's get to this lady that worked at Party US, not Party USA, not Chimps for Us, that the sanctuary,
I worked at
like
the
Tanya,
sanctuary.
and she worked there for a while. Now, mind you, I'm looking at her little. Okay, well, actually, you know what? Let's also talk about this real quick. So they're making this documentary. Let's be clear: Connie wants no part of the documentary. Connie
0.
don't. She don't want. They filming her like, hey, Connie. She said, hey, I don't want to be on camera. Okay. Connie wants no part. Now, Tanya, a different story. This is also the same director from Tiger King.
Yes, Eric Good is the director of
Okay.
Tiger King.
Now, we all know Tiger King. We all know Joe Exotic is not running for president this election. Okay. He is still in jail. We all know what happened with that. Because they were making this movie, the director of the Tiger King, what's his name? John Good?
Eric Good.
Eric Good. Eric has a reputation in the exotic animal realm. So nobody wants to deal with him.
Mm-mm.
So Eric knows this and he hires a proxy director. This proxy director is someone that
Dwayne.
used Dwayne. Now I love Dwayne.
Do
I don't have
you?
no problem. I mean, I do. Dwayne is a part-time clown. And I'm not even trying to be funny.
Don't say part-time. Listen, don't knock his credentials.
I'm not.
He
So listen, he was
graduated
the
in the
clown
25th class of the
class.
Clown College of
Okay, he
Ringling
went to
Brothers.
school.
Yes.
He traveled with Ringley Brothers for a very long time. So he's very closely knit with the exotic animal community because he was in the circus for a long time. He still does kids' parties part-time. He is very close into the exotic world. So they are hiring him to be this proxy director. So we won't see the Tiger King director. We see this proxy director. Now, this is my first red flag as to what I don't like about this documentary, right? Like, Joe Exotic wanted to be on film, right? Joe Exotic was his own worst enemy. He wanted to
Mhm.
be he agreed to all of this. It was going to make him a star, it was going to make him bigger than life, all of that. What I don't like about this film is that like it's this need for them to want to get close because it's like y'all making this documentary for what? Anybody with their right mind that saw Tiger King, and if you're not the utmost, the utmost of the utmost of the utmost of the utmost. Why would you sign up to do this documentary? However, they put this proxy director in that's like, hey, like, I know the people, like, I don't know. I don't like it. For me, it's
What do you
like,
think he meant when he said he had a relationship with the federal government when it came to exotic animals? They were like a little elusive with that. I'm like,
I'm
what does that
sure
mean?
if he's worked for the circus, PETA, like, they don't like the elephants in those things. They don't like the tiger. So I'm sure he has probably witnessed and seen a lot of cases or had to testify. But I just don't like the deception with this proxy director because I feel like it's like you're lying to this people because it like, so anyway, we'll get there.
Mhm.
So just keep that in mind, okay? Because the proxy director, I feel like he flips. And so we're getting all this content. Then there's this one lady who used to work at the sanctuary. She ain't really like the way the older animals were being treated. If you weren't young and
Mhm.
cute, kind of like to society. If you're not young and cute, okay, like myself, when you get a little older, they don't want you no more. And then these animals were just sitting in cages all day. And so this lady called PETA. PETA kind of launched this investigation.
Angela.
Angela, okay, Sarah, like I'm coming with the facts. Angela,
I know the names, not the
okay, she blew the
characters.
whistle. And so PETA now, PETA doesn't like the chimpanzees being captive. They don't like them being pets. They are like fearful. And so PETA launches this investigation to try to get the animals out of the shelter. Now, this is where I'm going to need your help because what I'm so confused about is during these cases with the sanctuary and PETA, why the hell is Tonia going to court for the sanctuary? Sarah, please fill me in.
Oh, yes. So the case was like dragging out, and I think that Connie was just kind of getting tired. And so Tanya put herself in the front and was just like, I will take all
Like,
the slack.
girl, you
Sign
doing too
those, sign
much.
those monkeys over to me, sign the chimps to me, and I'm gonna take the slack. She thought that that was gonna stop the lawsuit, but Peter was like, we'll just add you to the lawsuit.
Again, Connie's not that dumb. And I feel like Connie kind of set Tanya up. But whatever. So they're going to court.
She volunteered to be the fall person,
I
which
mean,
is
I
weird.
guess she's going to court, which is just weird. Like, it's not your sanctuary. Girl, you just volunteered. And now, like, you're so invested. She goes to court. It's kind of like over the pandemic. They're going to court. They need to see this evidence. They need all of this stuff. And essentially, PETA wins. At this time, Connie only has 7 chimps at her facility. PETA wins.
Mhm.
All 7 have to come out. We also know that Tonka is part of the 7. As we are touring with the documentary, Tonka is kept by himself. They said that Tonka suffered a heart attack or has like a, not
He had a
cardiac
stroke.
arrest. He had a stroke. And so he does not behave like normal. So he can't be with the other chimps. So PETA comes.
Grabs the
They
other
come.
6.
They grabbed the animals as Tanya had to be court ordered to stay 2 miles off the property.
Yeah, she was leaving the kids at 8 o'clock the night before.
Okay, yeah, that's why she calls the kids. She calls the monkeys kids. Also, what is interesting about Tanya is that, like, when she is fighting this court case with the PETA, she's like, "I love these chimpanzees. I love them more than my own kids. I love them more than anything." Well, damn. Okay, well, and guess what? We get to see Tanya's son in episode 3. Now they get all the chimps. All of a sudden, we are realizing Tonka is missing.
Mm,
Where is
plot
Tonka?
twist.
Where is Tonka? Okay. Now, this is where episode 2 gets good. Now, all of a sudden, what is crazy, right, is because we are with Tanya the night before when she's saying goodbye to the animals and Peter's coming. And now
She's giving
Peter
the
is
kids their
there,
last Happy Meals.
their last Happy Meals. Now, Peter is come. They can't find it. Now, Tanya says Tonka had a massive heart attack. And and she came. She saw him because I'm trying to figure out, girl, if you came and saw him and he was laid out on the ground. How could that be? Because we saw you with the camera crew. So when did all of this happen? She saw him. He was laid out. She poked him. She threw some fries in there. He wasn't moving. She knew that he was gone. He was gone. And what else to do but to cremate him immediately because Tonka's gone. Now, PETA is like, where is Tonka? They taking Tonia to court. Tonia has to sit on Zoom in court. Tonia doesn't know how to mute her mic, because, okay, now that was a funny part. Tonia is in court. She's crying. I don't know what happened. Oh. They're like, okay, we don't know what's going on with Tonia. We're going to take a 10-minute recess. Now, mind you, they're filming Tonia. Tonia's like, little prick. They're like, Tonia, your mic is still on. She's like, oh, okay. Sorry.
Yes, Jared Goodman, the lawyer that she calls Pee Wee Herman and everything else. He's the little bitch.
Okay, that's what Tonia call him. And mind you, I also feel like, now, why are you calling him Pee Wee Herman? But you know why she's calling him Pee Wee Herman. Okay, that's rude, Tonia. Now, this is the last 3 seconds of the second episode for me, is that the judge comes back. The judge says, I don't believe anything that comes out of Tonia's mouth. She's a liar. But what you also cannot convince to me is that, like, y'all haven't shown me proof that Tonka is alive. And so until y'all can show me proof that he's alive, like, there's nothing more we could do. Tonia says, okay. Tonia ends her computer. She like, yes, we won. We won. Now, mind you, Tonia got a husband. She hugging the husband. She talking about, yes, we won. If they can't prove he's alive, that we've won. All we got to do is keep him hidden. Bitch, what?
Yes, when she starts to walk down those stairs.
Now, mind you, before we even go there, Sarah, PETA is, first of all, PETA's never searched her home.
And she's volunteered it.
She volunteered for, no, that was the other lady. Okay, you get to episode 3.
She volunteered for them to go into her home, and then Jared's like, well, she doesn't have an enclosure. We're not gonna go into her home.
Well, that's why they're saying, so right, they you know, she doesn't have an enclosure. No, that's why, because they ain't never been to that new home. But you're right, like, y'all ain't going where she living at, baby. She go down into the basement, and what's in the basement, Sarah?
Tonka in his
Tonka. Now, here, okay. Now, immediately, this director by proxy, I'm like, you know what? Y'all is, no. How are y'all filming her go to court? And I don't care if y'all are like, this is the first time that y'all showing us that Tonka is alive. But then, okay, episode 3, first of all, we like, how the hell did Tonia build this house, this multi-million-dollar house with a monkey enclosure in the bottom of it? Well, guess what? Tonia's back into the brokering of exotic animals. Okay. So she's not selling them. She's just making the transactions happen, and she's personally dropping these animals off. Well, first of all, am I in the wrong business? Because wait, if all I got to do is like, okay, no. But I'm just, so she has all this money.
Minimum of $175,000. Yes, sign me up to be an animal broker.
Okay, she's building this house that has Tonka. Then it reveals to us that cameras are telling us Tonia's elaborate plan of, after the camera crew left, she gave Tonka some sedatives. Of course, her reasoning why she didn't want Tonka to go to the sanctuary to other people is that he couldn't make the trip down sedated because he's his health, and he couldn't be in the sanctuary with these other people. But we got all this footage of Tonia and her husband.
Oh, wait, can I just drop this? Because this was so funny. She had the first class residency for him tonight.
Okay.
The good old Holiday Inn.
For the night, less than a mile and a half from the thing. Now, mind you, they got the hotel footage of her and her husband pulling this huge container out. First of all, you know, I'm very familiar with the hotel world. That's a red flag. Well, all this child trafficking, all this stuff. If you saw something like that, y'all should have called the police.
Here's my question, though, too. Like, y'all know you have that big chest. Why are you not requesting a room on the first floor?
On the first floor. Listen, Tonia is not all the way there.
They are
So,
strong because ain't those
I mean,
chimpanzees supposed to be like hundreds of pounds?
girl, you can't wear 10 pounds of synthetic hair on your head and not be strong, okay? So
Mm,
they putting him up in a hotel for the night. Then we meet this other evil character. What's the evil character part 2? What's his
I don't
name?
know that he's evil. He's quirky. We meet Cy in
Cy.
Ohio,
Cy in Ohio, who's
who
already
had
has.
well, he had Ricky.
No, I'm talking, girl, let me finish what I'm about to say. Who already is no stranger to the law, okay? He like to buy stuff and he feels like the company that he works at, he could take the money from there, buy
What you
stuff
mean you're not
and
addicted to
hope
buying hot tubs that you can't afford on the company dime?
and he was gonna pay it back. But how you spend $340,000 anyway? So he is already wrapped up in the law. He has a sanctuary too. Okay, watch these people with these sanctuaries.
But
He's
his is
got a
a
sanct.
private sanctuary. His is not a nonprofit.
Even more a red flag
And they let us know that we do not know where the money's coming from, but he's got it.
because hello, that's the thing. When the sanctuaries are like open to the public, at least it's like, okay, the money is coming from the people coming in. How the hell are you making money if it's private? But you got all these exotic animals. He had a monkey that recently died. I think the name of the monkey was Tony.
It was Ricky,
Ricky, sorry. So Tanya meets him, and who does Tanya meet this character through?
our girl, the queen, the mob queen herself of the chimpanzees,
What's her
Connie
name?
Casey.
So Connie introduces Tanya to this character who is like, and they're like, so the producers are, producing, and they're like, so you weren't scared of the police and knowing that? No, I loved it. I'm glad I would want someone to do that for me. Oh, okay. You want somebody to break the law with you, sir? You're going to jail.
Right, bring these cameras in. Come on, come see what I'm doing.
Come see what I'm doing. So this elaborate plan of then driving him across the country with the cork is his dead chimpanzee. They dig up. They put his body in the back of the trailer because when they get to Florida to Tammy's new house that's ready, they're going to burn his ashes so that she says they have the ashes. Child, when I
Well,
tell you,
let's talk
okay,
about how she said it has no head because Cy kept the head. So she's got the remains of a headless Ricky in the back
going
of her car.
across state lines with a fugitive chimpanzee. Now, PETA know the chimp is still alive. They just don't know where. So PETA is like that. We're not playing with Tanya. They put $10,000. Anybody with any information to find this chimp, we gonna pay you the money. So the
And then
pressure
we're
is
gonna bring
on. So
Alan in. When we bringing Alan in,
which one is Alan?
Alan is the actor that acted in the
Ah,
movie
because I
with
don't even like
Tonka.
Alan like that. So
Because
yeah,
Alan
tell,
says he matches PETA and drops another 10,000.
so that was $20,000. He has
Mhm.
a personal relationship with Tonka because he was in one of the movies with Tonka, even though chimpanzees can't be in movies anymore. So, and that movie was in like 2004. But okay, now he had to change of heart. Now he, for the rights of the animals. But I'm fine with that. But I just also feel like, I don't know, something about Alan. I don't want to know. So anyway, Tanya got this chimp in her basement. She can't really do much because she has a chimp in her basement. We meet her son. Her
But can we back
son,
up a little bit too to talk about the
sure.
ashes? Because before we get to Ricky, because this was what I was a little bit confused about. So Tanya's husband, remember he writes that letter to talk
Yes.
about that Tonka had died and that they had burned him in the backyard and they get the degrees wrong. So then
Yes.
PETA has like this whole thing like you can't burn a chimp on 145 degrees. You can't even cook anything in your oven at 145 degrees.
Okay, well, girl, I'm not eating at Tanya's house, okay? Because that chicken is not done.
So then like she's like pulling up that brown dirt and look at the consistency. My question is like Was that Ricky at that point? Or what was
I
that?
I think that was Ricky. I believe that they probably had Ricky professionally cremated, but their story was they just burnt Tonka in a fire, which again,
145-degree fire.
145 degrees. Girl, you're not making sense. We meet Tanya's son, who looks exactly like we would imagine Tanya's son to look like. And he's got a vape. He's smoking a vape. He's very much like, my mom loves the chimps more than me. Yeah, she's even said it. But you see the joy in her face. You can't be mad. I wish, first of all, I already have a mother that has a dog that I already have a little issues with. I love me some Sunshine, but
Yeah, you're
Sunshine
not
has
the
work.
favorite child, and neither is
Right. So I understand that, but one thing, my mom don't play about her kids. So my mom would never go on no TV show and talk about I love Sunshine more than my own kids because let's just be clear, I'm the favorite child. Period.
listen, when you're
Um,
outside the courtroom and you need to get those tears out, you need to let it be known that nothing comes before these kids. And by kids, we mean the chimps. Not your own
so
biological kids, the kids.
the
We love them the
kids is the
most.
chimps. So girl, and also HBO was shady. So the proxy director,
Dwayne.
Dwayne, is doing a Saturday side job as a clown at a very dry kids party. Now, mind you, we don't know why we're seeing a clown, right? We're thinking maybe we're going to see another backstory of a backstory.
Can we
Then
talk
the
about how he
phone
was
ring.
drinking at the kids' party before he takes that call?
Listen,
That was definitely a
listen,
beer.
listen. The clown got to get his magic. So we're thinking we're about to see another backstory, but
Mhm.
ring. No, be right back, kids. Dwayne takes the call. It's the goddamn proxy director. Why are y'all filming him at a kid's party in a clown suit? Anyway, he is talking to one of his lawyer friends, essentially like, what are we like? What's Tanya's option? Because I feel like Dwayne has turned. I don't care what nobody says. What's Tanya's options? And they're like, well, if Tonka stays hidden and they don't know she has them, she's fine. If
Mhm.
Tonka were to die, there is no chimpanzee. What's the problem? So they're kind of sort of foreshadowing. Then we also, in this last episode, they show us this clip of this other lady who kept animals or who kept
Mhm.
chimpanzees. Now, I can't remember her name, but when I tell you she's a stone cold killer,
She kept one chimpanzee,
she kept one chimpanzee.
Tamara,
But
Tamara Brajati in Montana.
Tamara, listen,
Mhm.
I would not want to be Tamara's neighbor because Tamara said I would kill their grandmothers, their uncles, their children's, and after they're dead, then I'd get angry.
She didn't
Tamara,
play about telling her story about Buck.
you go on that side of the street, Tamara, and I'm gonna stay on that side of the town because I don't want to be nowhere near you. Essentially, Tamara had another sanctuary. The bottom line of Tamara's story is that PETA was focusing in on her as well. She had this chimpanzee that she was, girl, walked around the town.
No, yeah,
Girl,
she didn't have a sanctuary. They were coming
oh
after
yeah,
her because she was letting him live in her house.
girl, she go get a burger. She sit the monkey down. The monkey get a burger. The monkey pumping her gas. The monkey walking around the community. The community love the monkey. The monkey is living in her home and not in an enclosure. And that's what
Mhm.
PETA had a red flag about. Because she posted him online, selfies, me and Boo today. Okay, putting it for her Facebook friends, and PETA got attention. PETA got wind of that, and PETA was like, "Well, we can't say that she's mistreating the monkey, but like, you can't. The monkey is sleeping in her bed."
Right.
So PETA was coming after her. Tamara thought like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna beat you out to the punch." Well, I love, first of all, after hearing Tamara say what she would say, she would do to somebody. She inviting them to their home. I'm not coming to your house, Tamara, but she invited PETA to come to the house and say, "Listen, come see how this monkey live. Come
So
see
what
how I
is the
treat."
understanding? Her and Buck were on the first floor, right?
So her and yes,
And then she
but
invites the daughter in and then
so
moves them
but
to the second floor.
no, Buck, his enclosure where he slept and stuff was downstairs. But he also had free range of the house upstairs. So
Mhm.
the daughter, she wanted her son to come move in. The son didn't want to come in. She moved the daughter in, but I guess maybe the daughter took the room downstairs that I think that like
Buck
the
frequented and lived in his house.
Frank used to sleep there, but now Buck sleeps with the mother. And so the protocol was like anytime the mom would leave, you need to make sure you like shut the basement door, the front door, and the doors to the bedroom. Well, the daughter got there, the mom left, they didn't follow protocol.
Mhm. This is
All
what I
the
have a hard
meanwhile,
time watching. These
well,
are the
right.
parts
But
I don't
all in the
understand.
meanwhile, this all happens. So Peter's after her now because they're like, we want to get this monkey from her. So she invites Peter to come to the home. But then she's like, "Oh wait, I need more time," and she keeps saying she needs more time, knowing that Peter is like, "Okay, well, we're going to be taking action." In the meantime, she gets her daughter to come stay with her. They don't follow protocol. They don't lock the doors.
Mm.
Boom, the chimp mauls the daughter.
In bed.
There's in bed. The chimp said bloody everywhere. She comes home. Tamara comes home. Is like, oh my god, like they're clearly going to take the animal now. And so Tanya or Tamara calls the police. Now, first of all, if I see anybody like that, I'm like,
Yes, she was
ah!
calm, cool, and collected.
Hello, 911. My daughter just got attacked. I need for you to send active shooters out to my home. My
Headshot.
my monkey needs to be shot. It attacked my daughter. Headshots only. It needs to be put down. Okay, the daughter is in the basement, mauled up. Tamara and the monkey are upstairs chilling. The police, we see the police footage camera of their police body cams, and they're like, we're going to be engaging with the chimp. They come around, they're like, we spotted the chimp. They're like, is there someone else in there? Tamara's like, yeah, it's me. Shoot him in the head. And you know, when animal like they have to like, and so they shoot the rest in peace, the chimpanzee
Buck.
in the head and kill it, Buck in the
Mhm.
head. And essentially Tamara's case goes away. She's no longer facing all these things. Now, let's get back to Tanya because now Tanya is on the phone with the proxy director, and Tanya is saying, hey, Dwayne, Tonka took well, mind you, we also see since Alan, the child actor, $20,000. People are
Mhm.
now showing up to Tanya's property, looking around. People are like, Tanya's life is getting enclosed. First of all, girl, who you buying 20 Happy Meals for?
Yeah, she can't trust the people around her because the people around her don't have much, and 20,000 is enticing. So she is like looking over her shoulder. She's getting a little scary.
And so she tells Dwayne this. We see one conversation where she's just like, I'm screwed. Like, there's no way out for me. Then the next time she talks to Dwayne,
She just left the vet.
she just left the vet. Tonka is in congestive heart failure, which she does say throughout the 3 episodes. They do like we do see stuff, but again, Dwayne ain't no vet and I ain't no vet. And so essentially she's saying they wanted to put Tonka down today.
Here's what I have a problem with, and I said this to you before. If the monkey is in congestive heart failure, girl, can we stop with the Happy Meals? You have him pull the paper out of the thing, and it's a Sonic burger. Welch's fruit snacks. Like this, Tom could get more snacks and junk than a little bit.
Right. Girl, where's the healthy diet? Girl, how about the exercise? How about maybe he does need to be at a real sanctuary getting exercise. She said the vet wanted to put him down. She couldn't do it. And this is where I feel like Tanya's her worst enemy. However, he's going to do it in a week,
June 2nd.
June 2nd. And maybe, Dwayne, you bring the cameras. Maybe figured you might want to get it, Dwayne. So that call ends. Dwayne is like, yeah. The production people come behind the camera and say, is she going to kill Tonka? And this is where I feel like Dwayne kind of has switched a little bit because Dwayne's like, well, Tonka is sick. He is. And they're like, are you a vet? And Dwayne's like, well, I mean, I'm not a vet. But
And then we also had these talks too, right? Like when they first when they learned Taco was with her, they're filming her for months. So then we see
hello?
Eric Goodman being like, what should we do? Like we know she has this chimp
Right.
she's not supposed to have.
And they're like, well, we want her to lead us to the bigger people. No, y'all don't. And this is again why I don't like Dwayne and why I don't like Eric Good. Y'all just want the doggone story. Y'all should have turned her into the police the moment you found that she had Tonka. So now that they know that she's about to put him down, now all of a sudden we see a video where Eric Goodman, the real director, with the PETA attorney playing the videotape or playing the call recording. And the PETA attorney is like, this is what we've been looking. First of all, he's looking at him like, this is what we've been waiting for. Okay, like we know she was alive and we know y'all was in it. And he's like, yeah, we're going to use this to the maximum extent. And Eric's like, well, should we talk off the record? The PETA director is like, yes, let's talk off the record. And that's
Tonia Haddix about to be rated.
And yeah, I just Tanya screwed. And this is just my take. The production company, whatever charges come around for her, they need to give them to the production company.
So what did they say? She's getting at least 5 years for perjury.
At least 5 years for perjury. And that's all they really said. But for me, it's like you kidnapped a chimpanzee across state lines, like you lied, or like, yeah, it's a mess.
It's about to go down.
And I'm hooked, okay? They didn't pull me in. The first 2 episodes weren't really like, but it's good. I'd love to know what your thoughts on it. Let me know if we missed anything out. Yeah, thank you so much, Sarah, for coming on and talking with us. This is the first 2 episodes. I think it might be only 5 episodes to this docuseries. So if there is 5, we will come back and record the last 2. But before we go, Sarah, where can people follow you at if they want to recommend some documentaries? Sarah is a true crime lover. So if you got anything for Sarah, where can they follow you at, Sarah?
I'm not a big social media girl, but I am on Instagram. DA, one and only Sarah, the number 1. Had that since high school. And that's about the only social media I do.
Okay. So. Quite all right. Well, thank you so much for listening. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and we will be back soon with part 2. Where is Tonka?
Ooh, it's the Purple Pants Podcast. You better listen in public, might make your stomach hurt. Ooh, it's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to unwind, you better get that box wine. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to get your snack, you better hurry right back though. It's the Purple Pants. It's the Purple Pants.